What's going on YouTube? Dr. V here again, bringing you our week 1 for the PMC season 2. We are up against Cloud Envy and the Jersey Dwebbles this week, so not a really good way to start off our season. So we have never beaten Cloud before, so we are 0-3 lifetime against him, which is not a good way that you want to start a season, really, going up against someone that you've never beaten. And our schedule does not get any easier from here. In our division, we have Verd and the Tampa Bay Frogadiers, Kingdra and the Kansas City Kingdras, and CJ and the Baltimore Orioles, and then ourselves. So, again, not an easy division, but we'll handle that as the season goes on. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this week we did have to go on Showdown. Cloud had a bit of an issue with his 3DS missing, and yeah, we had to do it on Showdown, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. There were 2 moments in this match that may or may not have mattered because it was on Showdown, but we'll get through those. So yeah. So going through his team that he brought this week, he brought Keldeo, Vileplume, Landorus, Mega Gardevoir? No, regular Gardevoir. Then he brought Zapdos and Fortress. So, looking on his team, I did feel that it was pretty easy for me to just start off with Regice. There was only 2 things on his team that wouldn't want to be, or couldn't be T-Waved, which was the Landorus and Zapdos. So, I thought, and Zapdos and Landorus really, they weren't going to do much to Regice, especially if Landorus was a special attacking one. Even an Earth Power is a 3-hit KO, I believe, from a Jolly Landorus. So yeah, Regice seemed like a pretty good start here. Again, we brought our own Landorus, Regice, Mega Blastoise, Cofagrigus, Weavile, and Machamp. So, our Choice Scarf Machamp, which I have no idea why I Choice Scarfed it. Thought it was a good idea at the time. But yeah, so I do lead off with Regice as he leads off with his Landorus. The Intimidate does nothing because of the Clear Body, which it wouldn't matter anyways. So he does go for a U-turn to try to get some switch initiative here, but again, I'm just going to go straight for the T-Wave. Like, if he wants to bring in Zapdos, that's fine by me. I'll go for a nice type move the next time around. But he goes into MODOK. Assuming that's someone in the Marvel universe that I'm not sure. I can't remember who it is, honestly. But yeah, he does get T-Waved here, and I'm free to go for Focus Blast here to try to take this thing out. So I do land the first one, and unfortunately he does get paralyzed here, which is actually really bad. I believe he was carrying Revenge exactly for this type of scenario with Regice, but the para really mattered. So now I'm free to just go for another Focus Blast, which does connect and takes out this Fortress. So really bad luck for Cloud right there to start off the match. It's good for us because we got a good start on this, but yeah, it's not very fun to do on Showdown, really. So yeah, he switches into Keldeo, which I don't really want to take a Secret Sword. I can probably take one, but I do switch out just to be on the safe side. I actually switch out into Cofagrigus in case he decides to go straight for the Secret Sword. But you can see here he actually goes for Substitute, which terrifies me just slightly. I'm not exactly 100% sure what I should do at this point, but luckily I am carrying Psychic on this thing. And he does go for the Calm Mind, which reveals that he's more of a special set, which I'm fine with. Luckily the Psychic does break the sub. I'm pretty sure it was a roll on if it would break the sub or not at that point, especially with it being non-stab and me not having any investment on this thing, so it's a good thing that it did. He switches out at this point and goes into Frank Castle the Gardevoir, which I was like, okay, that's fine. I had just gone for another Psychic in case he tried to set up another substitute, or if he just went for a Scald or something. But yeah, here he goes for the Trick, which is actually not good for us because we got Choice Scarfed into Knockoff, which luckily I chose Knockoff instead of something else this time, and luckily I didn't switch out. So this was probably the last thing, or the least worst thing to get Choice Scarfed. So yeah, I do just have Knockoff right now, but I do switch out after he switches into Vileplume. I'm not sure what this thing can do, but I feel like Regice can probably take it on pretty well. Wow, that was a weird well, but yeah. So I'm back to full health with Regice now, as he just switches straight out. He doesn't want to deal with that. So I still don't know what his Vileplume has at this point, and here I'm just free to go for Ice Beams because nothing on his team really wants to take it. And there's the crit, which really did matter in this match. Like, yeah, 2 Ice Beams would have taken out the Gardevoir anyways, but Gardevoir would have gotten at least a hit in or something, which would have then resulted in, yeah, it would have resulted in Regice dying to this Keldeo. But I do reveal that I'm carrying the Thunderbolt here, which does break his sub, obviously. I am a modest Regice, and base 100 special attack is going to break that sub. So here he's just going to go for the Secret Sword, hoping to take out my Regice, but the HP and smallest defense investment allowed me to live, but the Thunderbolt did not take out the Keldeo, so I got a low roll on there, which actually really sucked for me. But it was only fair after I had scored the crit and the para. So yeah, I do switch out into Cofraggus here in case he wants to go for something else, but he does just go for the Scald, which does about 50%. So I did not specially invest this Cofraggus this time around at all, so that's not good for us, but I am just going for the knockoffs because I have really no reason not to, since I am scarfed into this. So yeah, here there's a knockoff which knocks off the Yachi Berry, which, yeah, this thing would have lived and Icicle Crash with that, but now it's just Weavile is gonna take it out. It won't outspeed since it's not scarfed, and yeah, there's not much that I can do to get rid of it. So here he does go for a U-turn, which is also good for us because it means he no longer has the static ability, and really none of my mons rely on their ability too much. I mean, Landorus has Sheer Force, but even without the Sheer Force, it's still a monster. So it doesn't really matter if it gets mummied. I mean, Machamp kind of matters a little bit with the No Guard, but that's really the least of my worries here. And I went for a knockoff on Keldeo. Like, I know that it was gonna raise its attack, but what could it really do to me? Like, I already saw that it's not carrying the Aqua Jet, so it's not going to try to Secret Sword a Weavile when an Ice Shard will take it out from that point. So I was really not worried at that point there. So he does switch in to Avalanche here. I was actually expecting him to switch into the Vileplume, so I went straight for the Fire Punch, but that was not the case here. He switched into Avalanche the Landorus, and I was in a bit of a rough spot here. I decided I had to let something go. Machamp still could have put in some decent work against this thing. The Dynamic Punch that it was carrying could have done a pretty good amount of damage to people, and it also confuses, so I had no choice but to let Regice go down here. So yeah, we're stuck at 2 apiece here, so this is a pretty even battle. 18 turns so far, and we're 2 months in, so it could be going for the long haul. So I go into our Mega Blastoise here, Darth Cognus, and as he goes out into this thing, which here I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go straight for an Ice Beam because nothing else on his team is gonna take an Ice Beam. And I was surprised at the damage it did. I didn't realize that this thing was Assault Vested. Yeah, so it took 2 hits fairly easily. Then the Giga Drain did almost half, so I don't really want to stay in on this here. I'm switching out. Like, there was just no point. One-on-one it was gonna beat my Mega Blastoise, which I didn't want to go down. So I go back into Darth Tyrannus the Machamp, and he goes for a Giga Drain, which again does almost 40%, so that's not good. But he does switch out here, which I'm fine with, and he goes into the Landorus, so he gets intimidated off. But I actually did go for a Dynamic Punch this time. I know it's resisted by Landorus, but the confusion, I don't think he wants to try to hit himself with it. So he was more than likely going to switch out at this point. So I do see that he has leftovers at this point. I was fearing a whatchamacallit, a Choice Scarf Landorus for most of the match. I didn't bring in my Landorus because I thought this thing was Choice Scarf, but after seeing it I was like, okay, I'm fine with this. So he does switch out into Storm the Zapdos here, but I'm just gonna go for a Rock Slide here, which doesn't take it out. It's like at 63%, so I don't know what happened. I think he misclicked, or maybe he thought I was gonna switch out expecting a HP Ice or something. But yeah, he did go for the Thunderbolt, which doesn't affect Landorus, obviously. He gets the Intimidate off. I'm fine with that. I'm rocking more a special attacker this week anyways, so Rock Slide obviously is not going to do much. But here I know that I will outspeed him since I was Jolly as well. Or no, I was naive, but I still thought that I would outspeed him here. And with Hidden Power Ice, does take out his Landorus, so that's really good for us actually. The rest of his team will pretty much go down to Weavile. So yeah, he brings in this thing again. Now I know it's Assault Vested, so I can't really take it out. I tried again with Earth Power. I don't know why. I thought that would take it out, but it didn't. And so he gets another Giga Drain off. And here I got smarter about it, so I just went for a knockoff. Goodbye Assault Vest. I did get Effect Spore, which really sucks actually. Which means this thing can now take us out with enough. Which means that Mega Blastoise can come in and take it out. I could have gone straight into Weavile, but I don't know. I just didn't want to bring in Weavile yet. I was saving in case he had something saved up for this, but yeah. If I had brought in Weavile instead of Blastoise, I probably could have taken it out, all of his mons out with Weavile. But Mega Blastoise does go down to Zapdos, so that was a misplay on my part. I haven't played competitively in a while, but so there was definitely some rust on my part. But yeah, now Weavile is just free to come in and Ice Shard everything. So yeah, at this point it's game. I don't know, he just withdrew it, but like maybe expecting some other type of move. But yeah, Ice Shard. There's really no point in clicking anything else. Ice Shard takes out Keldeo, and Ice Shard takes out the Zapdos. I know that an Icicle Crash probably would have taken out that Vileplume. I believe even if it was physically defensive, it would have taken it out. Let me double check on that real quick. Weavile, attacker versus Vileplume, defensive. Yeah, an Icicle Crash, with, even if it was fully invested in defense, it still does 77%, so I had really no reason not to go for it. But yeah, so we do end up winning our first match, which a nice 2-0 victory. So definitely some rust. There were definitely plays that I could have done better. With my Machamp being choice scarfed, that's something that I will have to reconsider, since there is really no point in choice scarfing it. It still doesn't outspeed anything, but overall I'm happy with the result. So yeah, starting off this season with a win, that's definitely a good thing for us. So let's try to keep it on the positive side here. I know that the crit really mattered and that the para really mattered, but otherwise Regice might have not gotten the kills. But I still think that overall the rest of my mons could have handled the Gardevoir and the Fortress fairly well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back next week with our team builder for week 2 and our match for week 2 against CJ and the Baltimore Orioles. So yeah, until next time, guys. Bye.